Most of the time when I'm at the Carboot, I'm looking for video games, but sometimes you just have a very different day. And today we have the weird, the wonderful, and the random at the Carboot.
Kick us! Studio Games! Rush Tricks! Night Game Hunting!
Again, folks, welcome back to a very special video. Again, this week we are back at the greatest car boot in the world, Arming Hall on the outskirts of Norwich. Now, most of the time at the car boots, I'm on the lookout for the usual kinds of things. The games, DVDs and Blu Rays, whether to add to the collection or to flip for easy credit into CEX. But some car boots just hit a little bit different. And rather than being normal, this week's car boot is the weird, the wonderful and the random. Just before we head out to the Carboot, I want to remind you folks, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and please subscribe, as I put new videos out every Saturday live at 5, as well as bonus content throughout the week, and I really want you folks along for the ride. If you want to go above and beyond to support the channel even more, please consider becoming a supporter over on Patreon. It's just £1 a month and you get loads of bonus behind the scenes footage, including bonus Carboot footage. Now, let's hit the Carboot. Here we go then, bright and early on a Sunday morning at Arming Hall Carboot on the outskirts of Norwich, and as you can see, it was super busy this morning. There was a queue to get in and the car park had already spilled over into the overflow car park. The sun was out, it was an absolutely glorious Sunday morning and looked like it was going to be super busy, and I was just hoping there was going to be a lot of sellers as well as a lot of buyers. And you can see here on the horizon as we went through the second car park, it was going to be super busy. This was a massive car boot and let's hope we can find some bargains. Straight away then, some interesting bits here. We have some vintage Star Wars toys as well as some retro TMNT figures. I think these were early 2000s, so I did pass on these ones. There's a lot of controllers here, but these are kind of those third-party controllers that normally you can get fairly cheap in, say, B&M, places like that. So again, I did pass on these, but it definitely seemed like the theme of today was going to be the weird, the wonderful, and the random. Check these out, these Star Wars ice cube trays. I never knew I needed these, but as soon as I saw them, I knew for the right price that I needed these. How much are your ice trays? So of course for that price I had to pick up all of those Star Wars ice trays, but I nearly missed these two little Crash Bandicoot collectibles here. There was a little mask and also this little light, and for the right price I'll probably grab them. Yeah, how much are those two?
I'll do them for £1 each.
Would you do £4 for everything? So a nice little random bundle there to start off our day. A selection of ice trays and some little collectibles for the games room. And here's something which once again I keep being on the fence about picking up: Lego. I see a lot of Lego at the car boot. I think these weren't official Lego figures here. I could be wrong, but let me know in the comments down below. But for now, I did manage to resist. Now this next store had some really cool retro items, some cool books, some comics, some collectibles, some Funko Pops, but I was mainly interested in this Star Trek game here at the back. I have a friend who is a massive Star Trek fan. I was tempted to pick this up for her, but I'm not sure if she has a VHS player, so I did pass this time. Here's a return to more traditional hunting grounds. We've got a box here with mainly DVDs, but there was a couple of PlayStation 2 games hiding in here, but unfortunately these were the kind of standard shovelware which you see all the time at the car boot. But here's the thing with these boxes, as I always say, you never know what's going to be in here, so it's always worth a look, and even checking to see if there's any bonus discs. Now this is something I wasn't expecting to see today. Very cool display items. Let's hope I can get this one cheap for in the games room. How much your Tetris light?
Well, as I don't even know what they are, you can have the lot for £1.
It's a little random, but for £1 I wasn't going to pass up on that Tetris light. That'll look awesome in the games room. Again, some more video games here, a large selection of games for the Xbox 360, and as we all know, the online store closes for the Xbox 360 very soon, so now is the best time to grab these games. There were some really good titles here, but nothing which I needed either for my collection or that flips into CEX for decent in-store credit. But I might have missed something, so please let me know if I have down in the comments down below. Here is something which, until recently, I would have probably left behind, this OG Xbox controller. That's because more often than not, I presume when I see these controllers, perhaps wrongly, at the car boot that they won't work. But I'm starting to take more of a risk on these controllers, as honestly, most of these trade in for some decent credit, and for £1, it's worth the gamble. I was going to gamble on some of these comics at 50p each, but as I've said a million times before, I have very little knowledge of what comics are worth money and which aren't, so I did leave them behind. Some random quirky collectibles here on this next stall, probably most of which came from loot boxes, but I just love these items to kind of display around the games room, including these mystery minis. These Gears of War figures are really super cool. Normally you have to buy these in blind boxes, so you're not sure which characters you're going to get. I wasn't sure if I had these, but if I can grab them cheap, I'll grab them.
How much are those two?
I'll do them both for 50p, mate.
Yeah, cool.
In my excitement, I very nearly missed these Fallout cozies for my drinks over summer, so let's grab these.
Did you say 50p on them?
Yeah, quid for both, so 50p each.
Yeah, cool.
Here's a bit of a random one here, the PlayStation VR aim controller. I already own one of these, but if I can get this cheap, I might be able to trade it into CX or just have a spare for in the future.
How much you got on your...
Just a couple quid for it, mate. That'll all work and everything.
What, £2?
Yeah, I'll be up there.
Next up, we have some Amiga games. I'd never heard of either of these games before, but I just absolutely love the artwork on these, and if I can get these at a cheap price, I'll probably take a risk. I wasn't sure whether to grab these straight away, but I think there was literally somebody looking at these over my shoulder, so I knew I had one chance to pick these up. So I was going to ask how much they were, and if I liked how much the price was, I was probably going to grab them. Like I said, I have no idea if these are good games. I'm not entirely sure which Amiga console these are for, but it's just the artwork for me. As a massive dinosaur fan, this artwork just spoke to me. And if I can get these cheap, yeah, I'm going to grab these.
Buddy, how much you got on those two?
For £3 each, yes, I'm going to pick these up because honestly, I think if I didn't grab them straight away, the person behind me would have picked these up. These monster movie figures were pretty cool, but I think they were asking like £6 or £7 on these, so I did leave these ones behind. Heading on, we found some more video games, and I always dig through these boxes that are normally from house clearances because you just never know what games you're going to find in here, but unfortunately, a lot of these were pretty scratched, a little bit kind of unloved. I was very tempted to pick up Need for Speed, but unfortunately, it's very hard to tell it in this video, but the disc was pretty wrecked. There I am checking it out, but yeah, unfortunately I did pass on these ones, but honestly, don't sleep on these house clearances. You can find a bargain. Now on this next stall there was something very cool, but the problem was I just couldn't see it. I was very confused, but I grabbed it for £1.
How incredible is that? It's John Cena.
Oh.
You can't see him, you see.
Moving on, I found some pretty awesome Star Wars toys here, but the thing was they looked a little bit unloved. They had some pieces missing. It'd be very hard to get these back into complete condition, either to add to the collection or to flip, so I did pass on these ones. But sticking with the retro, this next store had some absolutely incredible early 90s, late 80s WWF merchandise. Like that bucket was a thing of beauty. It was full of VHS tapes and had an incredible title belt, but this caught my attention, this Star Wars Episode 1 watch, because it was brand new in the blister pack. And I was tempted to bundle up all of this WWF merchandise. I think he wanted £15 for everything, which looking back, I do regret not picking it up. They were also selling this PlayStation 3 bundle. I think they were asking £50 on this bundle. I did check and it isn't the backwards compatible PlayStation 3. Otherwise I probably would have picked it up, but comment below if you'd have grabbed this for £50. Moving on and back once again to our familiar hunting ground. This box of DVDs, video games and randomly a Switch case. Of course I did check to see if there was either a Switch console in there or even a loose Switch game. Some fairly decent titles here, but nothing that was really worth picking up that I either needed for the collection or to flip into CEX. But I've said it a million times, I've said it multiple times this episode, these boxes of games are always worth hunting through, as you never know what you're going to find. One game can make the whole hunt worthwhile. Now on this next stall, I was trying to make myself a little bit of a bundle. So you can see in the background here, this PlayStation shoulder bag. Now this thing was a little bit dirty, a little bit worn, but I'm sure I could clean it up okay if I could get it at the right price. But I wanted to get a bit more value here and bundle it together with this selection of Xbox 360 games. Now I didn't really check the discs, which was a mistake, but let's see what price we can grab these all for.
How much your PlayStation bag here?
£5.
How much have you got on it?
£1.35, mate. £20 now. Just get rid of it.
I kind of regret not picking this up for the price, but honestly, I struggle to find a weirder collector's edition than this one for Dead Island Riptide, so I did pass because I just have no idea where I'd put it. On the next store, I very nearly started a road down a very slippery slope. with Lego. I've been very tempted to start collecting Lego, or at least minifigures, but thankfully this time I did manage to pass. Finally this time we have some more controllers, including some Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. Now I have been taking a bit more of a risk on controllers. These ones were a little bit more expensive than I was willing to pay, and honestly I'm guessing with the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons they were probably going to have stick drift, but let me know in the comments down below if you've ever taken a risk on controllers for the Switch. There we have it then, folks. That was another Sunday morning at Arming Hall Carboot, and it had been a very weird, very wonderful and very random day, but I wouldn't have changed it for anything. It had been a lot of fun, and we'd managed to add once again some weird, wonderful and random items to the collection. Here we are then, back in the games room after another awesome Sunday morning at Arming Hall Carboot, and we definitely have some weird, wonderful and random pickups for the collection. Now first of all, you saw me pick up those Star Wars ice cube trays. I haven't got them here because honestly they are in my freezer, they are full of ice. But also from the same store I picked up a couple of random little collectibles. So first we have the Aku Aku mask from Crash Bandicoot, absolutely iconic, and also from Crash Bandicoot this TNT light. Now I didn't realise at the time, but you push this on top and now I'm sure for a lot of people that's unlocked an unknown childhood trauma. You can see behind me then this Tetris light which I picked up for just £1. I've tried to arrange it here on the shelves, haven't done very well. It kind of shows how bad I am at Tetris. Now unfortunately I thought this was powered by batteries, but it does need to be plugged into a mains adapter, which unfortunately I don't have, but for £1 it's still a super cool display item. Next up we have a controller for the OG Xbox. This is the Xbox Controller S. And yes, I know what you're thinking, this thing is pretty dirty, it is pretty grimy, and it has seen better days. But I picked this up for just £1, and this will clean up and I will bring it back to its former glory. Now, I'm taking more risks picking up controllers because honestly, I need more controllers for my collection, or these trade into CEX for some decent money. And I'm finding 9 times out of 10, these controllers work, and I paid just £1 for this controller. Yes, it is missing the tearaway part which connects to the console, but if I trade this into CX, I'll get £6 in-store credit. Next up we have a selection of small collectibles which I picked up from another store for just 50p each. So first off we have the General Ram from Gears of War Mystery Mini. Then the Locust Sniper Mystery Mini. Then we have a couple of these cozies for drinks from the Fallout franchise. So we have the Nuka-Cola Quantum and Nuka-Cola Original. All of these items were just 50p each, and honestly, I just want to be able to drink my drinks in style this summer. Next up we have another controller as such. This is the PlayStation 4 AIM controller for PlayStation VR. And again, this one does need a little bit of a cleanup, but I paid just £2 for this one. It powers on, it charges up, and it trades into CEX for just £6. Which is surprising as they actually sell these for £15, so I might look to sell this one on eBay. It depends how easy it is to package because it is quite big, it is quite bulky, and honestly I'm pretty happy just to triple my money trading it in to CEX. Next up we have some video games, but once again these are quite random because these were both £3 each, and the first game is for the Amiga. I think this is just the outer box, as that's the name of the company that makes the game, because inside we have the booklet for the game, and the game is called Blood Money, and this game comes on not 1 but 2 floppy disks. But the thing I absolutely love about this game is the poster. The artwork that comes with this game is absolute fire. Like, check that out. That is pure nostalgia right there, and one of the main reasons I picked up these 2 games. Second game I picked up once again for £3 for the Amiga is this game right here, Human Race the Jurassic Level. So I think this is actually an add-on pack, but once again the artwork on this is absolutely incredible, and even better when you open it up and unfurl it, it looks even more amazing. This thing is absolutely beautiful, and for £3 I just couldn't leave it behind. Recently I've been picking up a lot more plushies from both charity shops and car boots, and when I saw this next time, or should I say when I couldn't see this next time, I knew I had to pick it up for just £1. You may be wondering why I bought absolutely nothing for just £1, but if nothing else it'll look incredible not being seen in the background of my videos. Next up we have some brand new old stock from everyone's least favourite Star Wars film, this Star Wars Episode 1 Anakin Skywalker Flip Watch. And this thing is brand new on the blister, and I paid just £2 for this one. I don't think it's worth a massive amount of money. I think these are selling on eBay for around £20, so still picking this up for £2 is an absolute bargain. Finally this time, for the most random of car boots, we have this PlayStation branded shoulder bag. Now I think originally this was designed so you could take your console on the go. You know, take it round a friend's house and smash out some multiplayer on those all-nighters. But for me it'll be perfect for game hunting, because then I can just slip the games I find in here, and also I'm storing them in style. But you know me, I paid £5 for this bag, but also I did manage to bundle it with a couple of games. But here's the thing, I was so preoccupied with the bag that I didn't realise most of these games are in terrible condition. So this one's not too bad. Call of Duty Ghosts for the Xbox 360, but this copy of Call of Duty Black Ops, the disc is absolutely wrecked, as well as this copy of Rise of the Tomb Raider. So honestly, these are both pretty much worthless, but I'm still happy with the bag for just £5. There we have it then, folks. That was a very weird, wonderful and random car boot, and it was a lot of fun. Of course, most of the time I'm looking to add video games to my collection, but sometimes it's just fun to have a change, to have a car boot like this where everything is just strange. There was loads of weird items, and honestly it was a super fun morning, and at the end of the day that's what it's all about. Not just adding games to the collection, but having fun, because if you're not having fun, what's the point in hunting? I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and as always, keep playing the game. See you all soon!